Welcome back to the Victor Gonzalez Show, and today we're going to be talking about the New York Jets. The New York Jets have a new offensive coordinator in Mike LaFleur. He is the brother of Matt LaFleur, the Green Bay Packers head coach. You're looking at your starting quarterback, Zach Wilson and Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco was a starting quarterback last year when Zach Wilson got hurt. Zach Wilson, although he has not had the greatest of startings to his career, he did have some nice things last year where he was able to complete the ball and was able to give the Jets, some inspiring moments. Now he's going to have another back behind him, and that includes Michael Carter from last year, but now having Breece Hall. Breece Hall was one of the top backs in the NFL draft. Most people said he was the number one back. I would agree with that. I think Kenneth Walker was close, but I would say Breece Hall slightly beats him out with how well he played at Iowa State. Then you have Tevin Coleman, a veteran running back who can give the young guys some veteran leadership. And then at receiver, he has Elijah Moore, who played very well last year, Denzel Mims, he has Garrett Wilson, he has Corey Davis, three guys who are very young, and one guy who's a veteran who comes from Tennessee, kind of show them the ropes and help them out a little bit more, and kind of getting in that veteran leadership, which is something that's very good. And then you have Braxton Berrios, a really good slot receiver, who played well last year. That's 5 very good receivers for your young quarterback. That's always helpful when it comes into that matter. Then you're looking at your tight end. You got C.J. Ushmanza, who was someone who you could say was underrated in that Bengals offense last year, allowing them to get the third downs and kind of playing offside to T. Higgins when it came to the intermediate game. And then you have Jeremy Ruckert, a guy out of Ohio State who played amazingly with Justin Fields. And I think that's one of the great pairings. When you have a young quarterback, you can pair him up with a young tight end. And then you have Tyler Conklin, who's a good blocking tight end coming from Minnesota. Now you're looking at your O-line. There's rumors whether George Fant should start at left tackle or Mekhi Becton. I think Mekhi Becton should start there. There's nothing that's told me that he shouldn't. And I think they've played very well there, and that you could put Mekhi Becton there and George Fant at right tackle. Just because George Fant's an older veteran, he can move to right tackle, and Mekhi can still grow and become a better left tackle and help out Zach Wilson for not only now but the long term. And then you have Langston Tomlinson, who's a very good left guard who comes from San Francisco, and he had an amazing year. He's had amazing years in the past, and now you're pairing him with Connor McGovern and Elijah Vera Tucker, and then you have George Fant. And you can look at this O-line and say you have 3 pieces for the future. You have Mekhi Becton, who's a really good left tackle, and I don't see why you wouldn't say anything otherwise. Langston Tomlinson as your left guard, who played amazingly in San Francisco, and your right guard, Elijah Vera Tucker, who's been very good coming out of USC. And then you have your 2 veterans who can kind of help out these guys from a veteran player perspective, which is something I think the Jets have done a very good job implementing, not only young players but attaching them with veterans who can show them, hey, this is the way you need to be in the NFL, and kind of keeping them away from falling into the traps of what the NFL, the bad stuff of the NFL, the New York media kind of destroying them and destroying their morale and destroying their identity as a person, allowing them to know who they are because they have veteran guys kind of keeping their spirits up, which is something when you have a guy like Mike LaFleur coming from San Francisco or coming to join Robert Salah's coaching staff can be very helpful. And now Zach Wilson will have a lot of younger guys around him where they're all around the same age, think kind of the same way, and they can really grow a very good team bond, which is something you really want when building an offense.